Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Howrse. The Crazy Friday sales have been going on for about a day now, a full 24 hours plus some. And most of you have probably already seen all of the horses that have been offered. You might have already been purchasing quite a few yourself. But I did want to go ahead and check out the crazy sales anyway, just for historical purposes, I guess. That way, then, everybody can look back on this next year when they're trying to prepare just to see what the format looked like. And that will really be more important, probably, for those of you who are not yet on the game, or maybe you just didn't really participate in it much this year. So, this is the whole crazy sales hub. There's a totally separate page for it, at least for the directs and the auctions. For the reserved sales, you just go to the regular reserved sales page. There's no separate hub for this. And for the reserved sale horses, you can buy all four of these if you want, or you could just buy one or two. However, you're just limited to one copy. And then these four divines rotate every, I think it's 8 hours. There's an hour and 5 minutes left of these right now. What I really like about the way that the flash sales has been set up the last 2 years is that we have a complete program. So if you scroll down to the bottom and click See Program, you have a full program of the direct sale lineup. You can scroll down, you can see each divine and then what time it will appear in the direct sales. And obviously that's a lot of divines. There's 32 pages. I don't think you can see it this year. No, I don't think you can. For the old flash sale lineup, you used to be able to see the number of copies for each divine, but you can't see that now. However, I will take this format and knowing what time exactly each divine will go up. And then for the auctions, you have the auction listing here, and then the reserved sales are right here. So then you can see what day these particular divines go up and then how long they last for. And again, for this year and last year, there's 4 at a time. And then they rotate out. And of course, if you want to easily search the horse, it'd be easier to see in auctions. So let's say you want to look up D'Artagnan. There's only 3 copies left in auctions, and there's still today and tomorrow, but the only other copies of D'Artagnan will show up tomorrow, at least on international. So I really do like the format here. It's really nice that you can go and you can see exactly what time and then what day the divine that you want is going to pop up. That way you don't have to just sit here all weekend like we did the last several years and just wait for that divine to show up. I am slightly surprised that already we're seeing some stalling in the directs. For some reason, nobody seems to want these Philosopher's Stone divines, the Gobibnu. I've seen him sitting here for a few times, and then Wakaila, who also offers a Philosopher's Stone, has been sitting for a while too before that one was snatched up. But I don't know that I would pay 2,000 passes for a Philosopher's Stone divine because I don't often use the item itself. However, it does exchange well in the exchanges. But I do think that where the weakness of this year's sales, at least for me, falls in that so many of the divines that are offered this year were offered already in the Ascent this year, or they were offered in luck items. Gobibnu, for example, was offered in the Ascent, I think twice, because I did get a copy from the Ascent without actually trying for it. And I think that's because I had some fragments stashed up from the prior Ascent. I wonder if that love's going to get taken. Let's refresh it. The love was taken, which I'm not really surprised. I'll get to some of the auction prices in a second because I have been writing those down from this morning at least. So anyway, back to the weakness of divines already being offered this year. Christmas Ghost, he was in the Ascent because that was how I got him. And I definitely wouldn't pay 1,500 passes for it because it just offers the Ghost Companion, and the Ghost Companion does offer a nice bonus, but the bonuses aren't important to me. So that divine is a bit of a disappointment. Many of the love divines, I did buy one from reserved sales just because it was sitting there, and I did want some points for the cinnamon fragment meter. So I did buy one from the reserve sales, but I'm going to pass on the rest of them in directs and auctions because I do have some fragments already accrued for them, and they're 3-star cards in the Ascent, which tells me it should be easy enough to get in the Ascent. What other horses have we seen in the Ascent? Fern was offered in the Ascent. Snow, he was in luck items this year because I got him from luck items this year myself. Lips. I don't think this one was offered this year. Let's see what other horses have been offered lately. Let's go and look at the program. I just want to prove a point here because it does kind of irk me that we see so many repeats all the time, and they're not good repeats. Cactos, that one is a trophy divine. Here's another thing. There are several horses that are trophy divine prizes that are offered, which is also disappointing. Rafnan, I have no idea how you pronounce this horse's name. That one's a trophy divine prize, although at least with this one and with Cactos, you can it's not like having duplicates is a negative because the bonus or the perks do stack. With Cactos, you can work on them separately and they will both drop you a unicorn. And then I would imagine that Raffron's perk would work the same way. Algae was offered in the Ascent. Embers was just offered this year, but this one I don't mind because this is still technically a new divine, and this is only the source's second release from what I can recall. Hippolectrion, I don't think has been offered this year, although really I don't mind repeat of past giving divines. That one's okay. Frost, the waters in general, they're offered quite often. So, I mean, I'd like to see horses that aren't offered as often. Equestrian can just go away. He was offered in the flash sales or in the Black Friday sales last year, and he's a trophy divine prize, and he has no perk. Yeah, he can go away. I would have preferred to see a different horse. Arthur, we'll let Arthur go because if you don't have him, then you're going to need him. So that one's good. But of course, having duplicate grails doesn't do you any good anyway. Tyrannus is a good horse, so that's fine. This Wind Divine here was just offered in the Ascent in the last rotation. Although again, some of these horses, it's not like having duplicates will hurt you. Having duplicate Winds is not a hindrance. Having a duplicate Tyrannus is not a hindrance. But I kind of look forward to the Black Friday sales, Crazy Friday sales this year as a way to get horses that maybe haven't been offered for a while. So that's my personal take on it. Other people might be happy to see these again, especially if they want duplicates of some of these divines. But that's my thought on it. I will say this was for me, most disappointing Crazy Friday, Black Friday sale lineup that we've had yet, just because of that. And I think really the Ascent has totally spoiled me because a lot of these horses, I'm thinking I have fragment meters that are halfway already, such as D'Artagnan. My fragment meter for him, I've got 608 passes, so I would rather just wait and get him in the Ascent. If he offered a better perk, I would be happy to purchase him again, but I don't really want these inkwells. I think I have all of the coats for them. Athos will be offered in the reserved sales later this weekend. I do have a copy of him, but a Themis Scale Divine is always great. He was offered in the Black Friday sales last year for, I think, around 2,200 passes. That's probably what he'll be offered this year. He'll be offered tomorrow, at least tomorrow for me. This might already be tomorrow, the day he's offered when you're watching this. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the sale so far. My meter for Cinnamon has progressed, so obviously I've bought some horses already. I started out with 13,000 passes and I'm down to 6,000. I bought Hippolectrion in directs. I bought Rose Gold in reserved. I bought Irene Adler in reserve. That one I really debated on. I have quite a few fragments for that one. The meter's halfway and she cost 1,400 passes. But I have a personal project where I'm wanting to apply vintage apple coats myself to my own horses, and I want the vintage apple coat to match the horse's coat. So I need hundreds of vintage apples. So that one I kind of made an exception for. That for me, vintage apple really isn't worth the passes all that much. But that's one of my passion projects that I'm really happy to do. So I need horses that offer me vintage apples. And then I did spend way too much on Scandium in auctions yesterday. So that one's probably going to go away right away. That one's not going to sit at all. Yeah, my computer won't even load it. So of course it sold already, which is fine because I wasn't going to buy it anyway. Let's see. The auctions right now are really interesting because there are two scandium going down to the wire at once. I'll be really interested to see what these go for. Although I'm recording this right now, so I might end up missing it. And there's no point in trying to sit and watch this because it could take 30 minutes before this actually ends just because of that 30-second countdown. If you're curious on some of the auction prices, the cheapest I have seen was a Boreas that went for 6 million equus. I think the next cheapest was Cancer yesterday, went for 9 million. And the most expensive I seen was Tyrannus at 65.5 million. That one I was a little bit surprised of. I would have thought that a past divine would have meant for more. However, Tyrannus, I'm trying to think what mine drops at. I think he drops the Titans Challenge every other month versus Scandium is probably, I'd have to look at the chart for his. You'd probably get like 40 passes a month, or is that a little too low? I mean, probably in terms of value, Tyrannus might be better because the Titans Challenge is a 200 pass item, or they might be comparable just if you look at how often they drop and everything. But to me, just an actual pass giver is a little bit more valuable because they're direct passes, right, that you can do anything with. But I think it just really depends on how you value divines, and that's why I find the auction prices so fascinating. I really don't care how expensive they get. The prices this year, I think, have definitely been more expensive than any other year. Every year they seem to get higher and higher, and this is where I do think Howrse needs more equus sinks, because if we had more money sinks in the game, then players wouldn't have so much, probably wouldn't have so much by the time this comes around. So either the issue with the auctions getting more expensive is that people are giving up on direct sales because of how fast you have to be. That could be a possibility. Players are just happy to be a bit more free with equus than their passes, which I'm of that case. I probably, again, I overspent on Scandium, but it's equus. I don't really care about the equus as much as I do the passes. People are just really good at saving when it comes to the Black Friday sales. And again, I think we could do with some more money sinks, because if you have money sinks, players are this is a money sink because the money is going right into the game. It's not just circulating between players. So the less money you get out of circulation, the less these prices would go up. But again, I'm not really all that concerned. If players have the equus to spend 50 million on a D'Artagnan, all the power to you. I have fun watching these because I'm always so fascinated at how the value between these horses differ between players. Actually, what was interesting about D'Artagnan earlier is that one went for 6.1 million, and probably just a half hour later, another one went up, and that one finished at 15.5 million. And of course, some of it could just do with, different players getting on at different times. It could be the second D'Artagnan, the player that won that one, maybe they needed it for their collection or something. Maybe they just really like the coat. You don't know why players value divines the way they do, and that's why I find these so fascinating to look at. The Tyrannus, actually, the one that finished at 65.5 million, again, him about an hour later, another Tyrannus went up, and then that one finished at 40 million. So yeah, I always really like watching the auctions. They're just a lot of fun to see the price differences, especially between the different servers. It's always interesting. Some of the other servers, like the smaller ones where they don't have a lot of players, the prices are much cheaper. So that's always fun to look at too. I did also want to slide this information in here because it's pretty important to the sales purchases, but down at the bottom of the page, you can find the time restrictions or the cooldowns for your purchases in the direct sales and the auctions, along with your loyalty meter gains. So you are restricted to one purchase every 12 hours in direct sales and one purchase every 12 hours at the auctions. They're not tied together. That means that if you purchase something in direct sales, you're only locked out of the direct sales for 12 hours. You're not locked out of the auctions as well. And that applies vice versa too. If you purchase something in auctions, you're just locked out of auctions, not direct sales. And these two are not tied to the reserved sales in any way. For the loyalty meter gains for Cinnamon this year, which I believe these points were the exact same last year for gold, you get 1 point for every 50 passes spent and 1 point for every 250,000 equus spent. So I think while we're here, I might just go ahead and open up Titan's challenges to get cinnamon. I do. Gold is coming in the reserve sales along with Athos, but not until tomorrow. And I've kind of done the math. Um, Obviously, it's not accurate. I'm totally guesstimating on the prices of these. Gold, we have no idea what he'll go up for, but given that rose gold went for 2,500 passes yesterday, gold will probably be around the same amount. But I did some guesstimating, and I think that with what I plan on buying, I won't have enough points to get these 300 fragments. So if I open up Titan's challenges now, it's not going to hurt. Also, I don't mind opening up Titan challenges now to some extent because I have enough resources and inventory that I don't have to touch my passes anyway. So if by some miracle I do end up whatever I buy in the flash sales with the remaining time left, if I get the points for those 300 fragments, then I'm just going to have some leftover fragments and I'm not going to cry about that. So I have 5 Titans challenges right now. I have 335 fragments. I did open one Titans challenge yesterday just because I wanted to see how many fragments for cinnamon were available. It's 35, by the way. So 35 fragments came from a Titans challenge yesterday, and then the other 300 came from the loyalty meter. I have 5 Titans challenges left, 2 staffs, and then I have enough scales to get into those. That way I don't have to touch my passes at all. So let's open these. Curious to see. So there's one with the Pluto's parchment that's totally worthless for me when I have plant divines. I'm happy about the Achilles heel. I really wish he had been in the golden fleeces like gold was last year. I like the golden fleeces more than I do the Titans challenge. I don't like the piece of cloud. Okay, level 5? Nope. Okay. I've got 2 Titans challenges left. Water of Youth, which I wouldn't get anyway. That was on level 2. Let's see, another Titans challenge. Hypno's blanket. Okay, that's definitely not worth the Titans challenge. Oh, okay, level 5. Ugh. I have a feeling he's gonna go the way of gold and I'll have to max the meter. Should I use... I guess really the staff versus the scales is not any different. I don't use the staff on Nyx packs because I don't need Nyx packs. I get Nyx packs from Divines. I'm just going to use the staff. It's not a big deal for me here. I think most players would probably only use the staff on a Nyx pack because the price value of a Nyx pack is about 600 passes. But again, for me, I don't need the Nyx pack. So I'm just going to use the staff on the luck items. That's what I usually use it for. This is a total bust. That should not happen. You should get a black market item. 2,300 points for the ranking. Okay, 5. Ugh. Those prizes all sucked anyway, even if I had made it to the end. Okay. Themis scale. We're gonna open it up in here. And then I have a Nyx pack that I'm going to offer for 3 Titans challenges. And then I can... How did I do this last time? Okay, I'm going to open up the Titans challenge in a new tab, and then I'm going to use another scale. I'm going to click the green scale button. How many years have I been using this item now? Yeah, well, you know. Oh, well. Okay, Artemis's arrow. Oh, arms. Okay, level 5. Oh, boy. 6. He's on 6. Ah! Goodness. Okay. Another parchment. Parchments. Oh my gosh. We could just make a fire out of all the parchments that I'm not going to use. Okay. 5. I think I got 1 left out of that scale. Bolt that I can't use. Well, I have no black market item from level 1, so I'm not getting any black market items from this. 5. Nope. I think that was it. Yes, that was it. Okay, next scale, we're going to use a Nyx pack, 2, 3 Titans challenges, and open the Titans challenge in a new tab. Okay, 3 more. Another parchment. Go away. I don't want you. Nobody wants you. A staff. Well, I don't really need it. Let's just do it. Okay, maybe I should have taken it. Bell boots. Maybe I'd take the... No, I'd rather have the bell boots than the parchment, honestly. Titans Challenge. Oh, ooh. That's... I'm going to do it. Nobody get mad at me. Ah, crap. I'm mad at me. Okay. It's okay. I didn't technically need it, but, I mean, would have been nice. Another staff again. Ha! I got it. Okay. 245 fragments, and I get a staff. Okay, get my gifts. You know, I've never tried going to level 8 on the live version. I've done it a few times on pre-prod. And I would be absolutely bonkers if I did it on the live version. So what am I doing? Get my gifts. Don't. Maybe another day. One day in the future, if I can get enough resources that I feel like it would be worth it to try for level 8, then I'll try for level 8 on the live version. So for those of you who don't know about level 8 of the Titans Challenge, you can get a boatload of items usually on level 7, and then on level 8 there's usually a divine permanently available. And when I say permanently available, I mean there's usually a divine found on level 8, even if there's not a divine offer, like cinnamon. Okay. The divine sometimes varies. Usually it's a gemstone. Again, I've never done it on the live version, but I have done it on pre-prod a couple of times. So I have cinnamon. I didn't even have to fill the meter. But if I do end up getting to the next threshold from the loyalty meter from the flash sales, then I'll have 300 points. But again, I've done the math and I don't think there's any way I can get the needed points with what I have to spend and the divines that I actually want. Because now that I have cinnamon, of course, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to fill up the points on it. It's just, for me, not worth it, I guess. So let's go look at my new cinnamon divine spice. I'm still missing paprika, I believe. I really, really wished that paprika had been in the flash sales, but alas. So the way that the spice divines work, it's sort of like the Titans Challenge in that there are levels available, and then your success rate of getting to the next level goes down the higher that you get. Right now, for example, my chance of getting to second level is 90%. I'll get 5 spices for this meter. I'll get 5 spices even if I lose getting to the next level, but for each level, then you get more spices offered. For me, I find that the drop rate is kind of just a set drop rate like every other divine. I don't really think it matters if you constantly try to get, say, to the very top level or whatever. I think it just evens out over time. I think this is probably just a bit of a for show sort of situation, kind of like the dragon divines and so many others, right? So what I do with mine, I just click it 3 times just to try to get to level 3 every day. And by doing that, my spice divines seem to always have set drop rates. So we'll just do 2. So see, if I complete level 2 successfully, which I only have an 80% chance of doing that, I'll get 7 of these spices. So I'm going to go to level 3. I get 10 right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and collect 10, and then my meter fills up to 10. Cinnamon requires 300 points. Once you get the 300 points, you get 50 passes, and then you can start all over again. And that's it for the spice divine. So I'm gonna board her. I'm really excited. I can stop comping all of my horses this weekend because now that the Friday sales are over, I'm done. I need a break. I want to go back just to breeding my horses to get a couple of trophy coats I'm missing, breeding my horses that I'm going to put my vintage apples on, and just to increase my ranking. I've been trying to save up equus, and to do that, I stopped breeding so that I didn't have to spend all that money on cover fees. So I think that's it for Cinnamon, the flash sales. Again, I'm a little bit disappointed in the lineup this year, but it's still been a lot of fun just watching all of the pricing and seeing how much people are bidding on everything. So let us know how you guys have been doing on the flash sales. How did you do with cinnamon? If you tried for cinnamon, I'm really happy this one did not cause me problems like gold did last year. But the reason why gold was so cursed for me last year is that I didn't have the amount of passes saved up. I didn't have enough luck items saved up. Cinnamon was no issue. Even if I didn't have these fragments here, I had enough luck items stashed up and then even some passes on top of that that I could have gotten cinnamon. But last year I did not have that for gold. And then my conundrum with gold tomorrow is that I have, how many fragments do I have? I have 877 fragments. And then I do have a starry ore metal divine that has some more fragments to get for him. By the time that's finished, I'm only going to need 37 fragments. So I just don't know if I want to spend passes to get gold in the reserve sales, given how much I spent on him last year. Because I did spend golden fleeces from inventory and passes on golden fleeces to try and get him. I just don't know if I want to spend passes to get one when I already have fragments that are really close to finishing it. The only problem is about waiting any longer is that he's the last metal I need to get Quicksilver. So if I want Quicksilver right away, then I should buy gold right now. I don't know. I'll have to think about it longer. So again, let us know how you guys have all done on the flash sales. I'm curious to hear, especially if you're on servers outside of international where the pricing in the auctions especially differs quite a bit. So good luck, everybody. There's still another day, and so I guess 2 days, 48 hours if you want to call it. I don't know. There's still quite a bit of time left to get some divines, and I would expect that the auction prices might go down a bit if they trend like they did last year. Last year, the auction prices kind of went down on the last day because everybody ran out of money, but it just, you never know until it happens. So good luck on the remaining hours that we have left, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.